socks. Yes, those socks are cool. Yeah, I was just searching like fun prizes for like teenagers and custom socks. So I was like, I'm gonna put me and Brandon's faces on some socks. It's gonna be awesome. So we're giving away some of those. That'd be cool. We are starting a new series today called With You. Now, the goal of this next few weeks is pretty simple. When a friend is having a hard time, we want to figure out how to be there for them. And I think it starts with something called emotional intelligence. Who knows what emotional intelligence is? Exactly. We're going to go over it. We're going to go over emotional intelligence. Like, everyone in this room is intelligent, hopefully, at something, right? Some of you might be intelligent with magic. Oh, magic. All right, some of you might be intelligent at school, like you're really good at math. Who's really good at math? Raise your hand. No. Ugh, numbers are so hard. I hate math. All right, who's really good at athletics? Who's good at sports? No. Who's really good at knowing like everything about the Marvel universe? Yeah, come on with it. Everyone's intelligent at something else, but what about emotions? Who's intelligent with emotions? Sometimes people's emotions can be easy to read, sometimes they can't. Did you guys know that scientists used to believe that there were only 6 distinct human emotions? Only 6. Now, because thanks to this new generation, Generation Z or whatever, people say there's up to 27 emotions now. 27 emotions. Y'all are insane. Okay, 27, all right? I could barely keep up with like 4 of like the original 6 or so. At 27, we're going to see if we can identify them, though. We're going to see if we can identify. I need someone who thinks they're pretty good at acting. Who's an actor in here? Yeah, come on up. Oh, you were part of the trip, but come on up. Come on. You got to show up here. So, I need you. We're going to get you to act out an emotion. You got to get the crowd to guess that emotion. We're just going to go through a few here, all right? I'm going to read them on the screen so they can't see. Do that first one there. We'll take that in love. This should make the heart. All right, do the next one.
Scared.
Yeah. That's good. All right, next one.
Late for a party.
Maddie said it.
Excited. We got excited. All right, couple more. This one. I mean, Gen Z is always depressed, right? Bored. All right, couple more.
Oh my gosh.
Is oh my gosh an emotion? No, we got 28. Gosh. Keep going. Keep going. Insulted. We were trying to get insulted. All right. Just do the last one there. Annoyed. You got that one right away. All right, good job acting. Good job. Oh my gosh. Being a good actor can help win like a game. Being a good actor can help, like maybe if you're playing charades. But acting is also a great way to imagine what it's like to be in someone else's shoes. Like you see this a lot with actual actors, where actors are really good at putting themselves in other people's shoes to portray a certain role, a certain character. Acting can help us put ourselves in other people's shoes. But the ability to understand other people's emotions and perspective isn't like a skill that a lot of people have. I think it's something, though, that we need if we're claiming to be a follower of Jesus. This is a skill that we need to learn. Like, emotions are complicated, right? I'm sure you guys are figuring that out. Like, 6th grade, you probably started feeling a lot of these weird emotions. You didn't know how to figure them out. High schoolers, like, you're just full of just anxiety and depression and rage now, right? Everything's just raging. Like, emotions are complicated. Take grief. Grief, for example. Who's experienced grief before? Grief, which we feel when we experience loss of something, when we experience something that matters to us. Grief isn't one of the 27, some of those 27 emotions, but grief is a combination of a lot of different emotions. So with grief, we get sadness, we get fear, we get confusion. Sometimes we get nostalgia. We get anxiety. There's several other ones. When a friend is experiencing all of these feelings all at once, look, it's understandable that you might have feelings of your own. So if your friend is experiencing grief and some of those emotions, you might feel sympathy. You might feel anxiety. You might feel awkward. Who feels awkward when their friend's going through grief? I don't know what to do around you. Or you might feel confusion. When a friend is grieving, look, you don't always know what to say or what to do, and you definitely don't know what to do. You don't want to do the wrong thing. Like, should I call them? Should I give them space? Should I act sad around them? Try to make them laugh? Say something, not to say anything at all? When things are awkward, I try to make people laugh. And when I was going, I think I shared this at Fusion, like when my uncle and my grandfather passed away when I was in high school, my best friend was like, all right, Andy's always trying to make people laugh. I'm going to make him laugh. And it was the most awkward thing, him trying to comfort me. Like, I was in a deep hole. And he was just trying to make me laugh because he thought that that's what would comfort me. And it made the situation super weird. When someone's experiencing loss, I think people usually mean well, but sometimes we end up saying the wrong thing. Like, if someone's grieving, we might say, like, when someone passed away, well, God needed an angel. Like, dude, really? I heard people say that. Or how everything happens for a reason. I'm going to shoot you right now. Everything happens for a reason. Get out. Get out of here. God will never give you more than you can handle. Who's been told that before? I tell you what, that is not biblical. God absolutely will give you more than you can handle because he wants you to rely on him. Or this one, anyone had went through a breakup and someone was like, well, there's plenty of fish in the sea. No. You're like, yeah, but I don't want those fish. I want my fish. He was the one. What does it kill you, make you stronger? Or even, I know exactly how you feel, followed by a story that is not at all relevant. I had another friend when I was going through the same situation, and I was like everyone around me is like dying. My buddy was like, yeah, man, like, I remember when my family dog passed away. Like, I was like, bro, like, look, dogs are part of your, like, I lost an uncle. I lost a human being. He's like, yeah, my dog was, like, really old. We had to put him down. No relevance whatsoever. Nothing whatsoever. You feel like you have to, like, compensate with this story to make them feel better. When someone is grieving, like, why do we think these statements are helpful? Like, I know I've said them. I'm sure some of you guys had said these. When someone is grieving, comments like these could actually be hurtful because what they do is they actually minimize someone's pain. They minimize the grief. That minimizes the situation. It's like saying to someone, dude, just get over it. Just get over it. So if we want to be a people who love God and we want to love others, I think we have to figure out how to be with people when they're grieving. The Bible is full and clear of guidance and wisdom about how to love God and others. But the Bible is full of stories that show us what not to do. That's what I like, because I'm the guy that like learns the hard way. My mom's like, don't touch the stove. I'm like, but why? Okay. I had to learn the hard way. And there's plenty of examples like this. One of the stories in here, we're going to look at the story of Job. Have you guys ever read the book of Job? It's not Job. All right, some of you guys are like, oh, a job. Will it help me find a job in here? No, it's the book of Job. None of you ever read through the book of Job before? Well, we're going to dive through it. So here, Job is the main character. He had some friends, Eliphaz, Bildad, and Zophar. Sick names, dude. All right, write those down for when you guys grow up and have a family. Great name, Zophar. My next kid is definitely going to be Zophar. All right, so Job is the main character in this. It's in the Old Testament. And this guy had it all. Like, this was like the American dream, right? Or like the Israel dream, whatever that was back in the day. He had 10 kids. That's a lot of kids. He had a wife, tons of animals, a bunch of land. Like, this guy was considered like pinnacle. Like, this guy had it made. But suddenly everything was taken away from him. We'll see his animals were either stolen or killed. So all of his cattle, everything, gone. So that's probably his welfare, right? Like, he probably used that. That was like his job. All of it, gone. All of his children died in a natural disaster. All 10 kids gone. All right, lost my animals, lost my kids. Then he gets sick, and he gets these sores all over his body, like boils. Well, his only remaining family member, which is his wife, told him, curse God and die. Curse God and die. And then his friends show up, and then they lecture him. Like, give Job a break. So while Job was grieving, his friends gave some long speeches telling him what to do, making assumptions about his character, making judgments about why God is allowing this to happen. And then God eventually spoke and said Job's friends needed to stop talking. Job reacted this way. Job 16:2 says this. Do I got that up on the screen? Job 16:2. I have heard many things like these. You are miserable comforters, all of you. He's basically saying, dude, you guys suck. You guys suck. You're not comforting me at all. But Eliphaz, Bildad, and Zophar didn't have it all wrong. So they got some stuff right. Before the lectures and all the misinformation in the speeches, they actually had a few things to say. See here, Job. So back in Job chapter 2, verses 11 through 13 says this. When Job's three friends, Eliphaz the Temanite, Bildad the Shuhite, Zophar the Naamite, heard about all the troubles they had come upon them, they set out from their homes and met together by agreement to go and sympathize with him and comfort him. When they saw him from a distance, they could hardly recognize him. They began to weep aloud, and they tore their robes and sprinkled dust on their heads. Then they sat on the ground with him for 7 days, typo, and 7 nights. No one said a word to him because they saw how great his suffering was. When Job's friends heard about these troubles, they sympathized with Job. They had compassion for him when he was hurting. They actually cared. They worked together. Together they made a plan to comfort their friend. They knew him. They knew each other. They showed up for Job. They cared enough to make this trip. They're like, all right, our bro, he's suffering. Let's go be with him. They made the effort to show up. And then they empathized with Job. They simply just didn't show sympathy. They went the extra mile and showed empathy. Empathy isn't just feeling bad for someone. It's feeling their feelings with them. It's sitting in the mess with them. That's what empathy is. In our culture, we're not really accustomed to tearing our clothes or sprinkling dust, rubbing dust on our face when our friends are hurting. But you can see they really care for their friends. It affected them. And that was just their raw emotion. Although the catastrophes that happened to Job hadn't happened to them, they made Job's pain their pain. Job's friends sat with him for an entire week. They were patient because they knew their grief is not a quick process. They were also silent. They knew Job's pain couldn't be fixed with just a few simple words. So they just sat in the silence. And then later, God would correct Job's friends after they started giving him some really bad advice. God corrected them for all the words that they said after that first week, but God never corrected them for being present. God never corrected them for being nearby or simply being with their friend. When someone is grieving, they don't need us to lecture them, correct them, or quickly fix it. They need us to be with them like God is with us. So next look over in Psalm 34:18. 34:18. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted. He rescues those whose spirits are crushed. God is with them. There's this Jewish tradition. It's called the Sitting Shiva. Don't say that too fast. The Sitting Shiva. I think I got a picture of it here. There's kind of an old rendition of it. So this is an old Jewish tradition inspired by the story of Job, and his friends called it, again, the sitting Shiva. In this tradition, after a funeral, the friends and family members of those grieving would literally live with and care for this person for 7 days. And depending on the family, the sitting Shiva might include traditions like sitting on stools and just being there, or sitting on the ground. They would wash their hands all the time before entering the house out of respect, lighting the same candle for 7 days, covering all the mirrors. I don't know that, but they did it. The sitting Shiva looks different for different families, but the purpose is always to make it about people who are grieving, to make it about them, to show them that they are not alone. So what does that look like for us? What is that going to look like for us to show up for our friends and to be with them grieving through a loss, or just grieving for something that they cherished and lost that really mattered to them? Instead of avoiding awkwardness and hoping our friends will just get over it, how can we show them that we care about them? How can we make their loss our loss? How can we be with people when they're grieving? I got a few things for us to try out. Look, it could be pretty uncomfortable to be with people during one of their worst moments of their life. It could be awkward. I'm sure you guys have experienced that before. But it's worth it. When we show up for people who are grieving, our friends can see God's love and care for them through the love and the care that we show them. So when we literally show up for our friends, you're putting on a display of God's love for that person. Maybe that person's not even a believer. Maybe that's the only version of God they're going to see is you comforting and being with them. With practice and God's help, I think we can learn how to be that kind of friend that people around us need. So grieving looks different for everyone. So there's not really one correct way to do this. So when a friend is grieving, here's a couple things. Let them know that you're there. Like, you don't even have to talk. Like when Joe's friends showed up, they didn't talk. Just show up. Let them know you're there. Maybe offer them a ride to school. Offer them a ride to church. Take them. It's like, dude, let's go grab some canes. That's where they want to hang out. Send them a text. Get a few other friends. Go be with that person. Make them feel like they're less alone. So let them know you're there. Second thing is listen. They may not want to talk a lot about what's going on, but when they do, like, don't interrupt. Just let them word vomit. Let them get it all out. Just listen. As a guy, like, I like to fix things. This is something I have to practice all the time. When my wife is like, she sounds just like that. All right? Don't tell her I said that. Sorry, Samantha. But I want to fix it. I'm like, well, what if you did this? What if you tried this? What if you said this? And God's like in my head, Andy, shut up. Just listen. Just listen. Third thing is be patient. Like, your friend may need support. Maybe it's a couple days. Maybe it's a week. Maybe it's months. Whatever they're grieving from is a process. Maybe your buddy at school is just like, I got cancer. That's a process. It's like, you know what? I'm going to drive you to your treatments. I'm going to go to your treatments with you. Or after your treatments, I'm going to come hang out. It may take a while, so be patient. Be patient. Remember important dates. Like, your friend may be sad around, like, big anniversaries, holidays. Like, these next couple months are typically, as we celebrate, like this is my favorite time of the year, but for some people, they struggle because they've lost people or they've experienced hurts. Maybe remember some of those dates. Know what's going on in their lives. Bake them some cookies on that day. Write them a card. Take them to lunch. Pick them up some graters. When I'm sad, if you guys buy me graters, I will forever be grateful. Raz chip. That's what I want. Take note. The last thing is take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. When a friend is grieving, remember they might have outbursts or mood swings. They're not directed towards you, so don't take it personally. Talk about how you're feeling with a trusted adult, or make sure that you have the support around you to support that person. Talk to one of your life group leaders. Come talk to me. Talk to a parent. Like, have a support system to help you support that friend. So let them know you're there. Listen, be patient, remember important dates, and take care of yourself. Look, what Job's friends got right was being willing to sit with Job without saying a word. That's what they got right, because that's what he needed. So as you guys leave today and go back into your schools, think about how equipped you are to sit and to be with friends that need you. Do a little inventory. Am I equipped to help comfort, to be with somebody? And just remember, if you want someone to know that God is with them, we need to be with them too. So this week, I really hope that you go out of your way to be with somebody that's grieving. It doesn't have to be something really big, like a loss of a family member. Everyone grieves over something. Just be with people. Show people that we care. Show people that they're loved. Show people that they matter. Because again, remember what I said earlier, sometimes you might be the only version of God that they see. And let's hope that's a good thing. Let me pray for us.